We got another one, guys. Former acting ICE director has bad news about what's next at Biden's border. As you know, this past month in August, almost 200,000 people got across the border. That's a lot of people. A lot of resources are going to take up too. Let's cut to the video.
End of summer surge is disrupting the Biden administration's claims that illegal border crossings are dropping. Preliminary data reportedly shows Border Patrol arrests in August jumped to over 177,000. That's up 30% for the second month in a row, by the way. At least 91,000 migrant families were arrested at the border, smashing the previous record from 2019. Joining me now, former Chief of United States Border Patrol, Ronald Villalobos. Thank you, Ronald, for talking to us. You know, these inflated numbers come as the Biden administration rolled out these new restrictions and entry opportunities. And with all of these additional arrests, 91,000, in fact, part of family units, which happen to be the largest demographic of illegal migrants during the Trump administration. And they're touting numbers are going down when it's actually quite the opposite, it seems.
No, we've been in this crisis since the beginning of this administration. They made terrible choices about the policies on our southwest border, which has encouraged, tens and thousands of people to come from the third world, from all over the world, actually, to come to our southwest border. That's because of the choices that they've made. They ended the Remain in Mexico program. And this is what the results are. We're seeing it from the beginning of this administration. Everybody was worried about what was going to happen at the end of Title 42. The numbers were muted after that because why? Because they moved the illegal traffic to the ports of entry, and we still have thousands of people crossing the border illegally every night. We have thousands of people getting away from the Border Patrol every single 24 hours, and it's just been encouraged by the choices that this administration has made.
Yeah, the Biden administration repeatedly points to a decrease in crossing at the southern border in May and June. And they use that as a key indicator, apparently, that it's the latest post-Title 42 border policies in place that are actually working. And obviously, that narrative is clearly being undercut as the numbers are surging back up. Let's play this sound from Debbie Lesko on the border surge and hear what it's really like, since the president doesn't bother to visit there.
I imagine the cartels think that it's to their advantage to put through more family units. And of course, that leads to more risk for the women and children to be raped and abused. It also leads to the recycling of children that we know the cartels do. This is just a disaster.
Yep, they're using kids to help them get across by saying they're a family, which gives a better chance for them to get across to the border and seek asylum. The cartel are 100% profiting off this. Coyotes and other delinquents, not just by money, but by rapes. Guys, doesn't matter the age, these people are doing it. Very sad.
President Biden's job performance, by the way, on border security, 33% approve. So obviously the nation is watching. They are not visiting the border. Kamala Harris might as well just throw in the towel on her whole trying to find a root cause to the border. I don't think she knows where the border is. So what say you on what?
61% disapprove. Wow. That's a lot of people. A lot.
What's next? I mean, Title 42 was working, and now it's not because it's no longer in place after this administration took it down.
Good point. What's next? More of the same. With the Senate in Democratic hands, with the president who cares nothing about the chaos at the border and the people who live there, like the congresswoman from a border state. They don't care about what's going on. They prefer this.
Hey, look at this woman. She's carrying her baby. There's another woman in front of her, and another girl with a small boy, it looks to be. Damn, that is really, really sad that these people are risking their lives just to have a better life. Because bimbos want to say, come here to seek asylum, we'll give you everything, anything. Forget the taxpayer dollar, forget if you're a citizen or not. This is why these people are flying over here in droves. It's not just Mexicans and people from South America. They're coming from all over the world, people, to America. Because this place is a great place to be. The American dream.
chaos over the control that they had when they took over. When this administration took over, we had 45-year lows in illegal migration across the southwest border. That's less death, less destruction of the border environment. So this is what they prefer. And think about it, 33%. Nobody voted for this. Nobody asked for the border to be so out of control and to make these weird and unbelievable choices that they made about the policy. They've just encouraged people to come there. Think about it. It wasn't that long ago. This would be the slowest time of the year on the southwest border because of the extreme temperatures that occur in places like Arizona and deep South Texas. But people are choosing to bring their families into the United States at record numbers.
You know, I think the Democrats are telling everyone to come here illegally because they need more voters. They know people are waking up, like the black and brown people. We're not so stupid that we're just going to take bribes willy-nilly and false promises that they're never followed through on. Guys, we're waking up slowly but surely, and we're paying more attention to these things. And I can tell you there's going to be a change coming, people.
Why? Because they know they're going to be released by this administration, and they're going to be on the economy, and they're going to come to every city and town in the United States, putting a burden on law enforcement, putting a burden on public health care and our schools.
Yeah, I mean, in all these cities, in democratic cities, I mean, look at New York City. You've got people moving in, living for free, and taking over parks that should be for our children. In Massachusetts, they've had to call up the National Guard to keep up with migrants.
Guys, I did do a video on the immigrants going to New York most recently. They're actually fighting with them left and right because they're sick and tired of migrants coming over there just causing mayhem and using up resources and partying, causing mischief. Here it is right here.
Protests rage on there, and other Democratic-led cities all across the country are dealing with higher crime rates. This is what we're bringing into America. It's awful. Former Border Patrol Chief Ronald Vitiello, thank you very much for talking to us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy Labor Day.
You too.
Hey.
Whoa. Well, what are we going to do about the border, Democrats? We're going to leave it open for everyone to come. You do need more voters. Like I said, black and brown people waking up. Well, yes, sir, we are. Let's cut to this next video I found here, guys. U.S. officials say they were forced to fire pepper balls at a crowd of migrants who repeatedly tried to force their way into the United States late Monday over a railroad bridge straddling Juarez, Mexico, and El Paso, Texas, guys. So not only are people coming here illegally, they're coming here forcefully. They're storming the gates, literally. Let's watch this.
The same-day Border Patrol warned of cartels spreading rumors of the border being open to asylum seekers. Hundreds of migrants attempting to rush the border near downtown El Paso last night.
So what does it mean to be an asylum seeker, guys? Let's see. An asylee is a term used in the U.S. for people who have been granted asylum. Under U.S. immigration law, a person granted asylum is legally allowed to remain in the country without fear of deportation. They qualify to work, travel abroad, and apply for their spouse and children the age of 21 to join them. So people come here, they apply for asylum, and they bring their family with them. That is an asylee, someone who seeks asylum. Whether or not they have legitimate reasons to seek it or not, they just come here and say, hey, I'm seeking asylum. Oh, and I want to bring my 10 kids.
Good evening, and thank you for choosing KTSM 9 News at 6. I'm Andy Morgan.
And I'm Natasha Paloma. KTSM 9 News reporter Shelby Cap is live near the railroad crossing gate where it happened. Good evening, Shelby.
Good evening, Natasha and Andy. Last night, that large group of individuals formed behind a gate here along the border that's actually meant for trains. You can see a train going through that gate right now. Federal officials do confirm that those individuals were throwing rocks in what appeared to be an attempt to open that gate. Here you can see people yelling and pushing on a closed border gate as border officers and agents position themselves right in front of that locked gate. Federal officials confirm that pepper balls were deployed and people can be seen running away in that video. Now, it happened on a railroad crossing between the Stanton and Paso del Norte bridge called the Puente Negro. Now, migrants speaking with our crews across the border saying they are becoming
Man, that looks like a little army right here, guys. Look at all these people trying to get to America. Storming the gates. That's pretty intense.
frustrated.
There was a lot of fear. It got out of control. People trying to desperately cross. Women with children because they already have several months waiting for their appointment. People get frustrated.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection sending a statement regarding the incident, reading in part, quote, "We encourage migrants to ignore the lies of smugglers and use lawful, safe, and orderly pathways that have been expanded under the Biden administration." And as you all mentioned at the top of the show, it was just yesterday when Border Patrol did warn of cartels spreading those rumors that the border would be open to asylum seekers. But U.S. Customs and Border Protection does say that if migrants cross illegally into the U.S., they will be ineligible for asylum and they could be subject to a minimum 5-year ban. Reporting live near the U.S.-Mexico border, Shelby Cap, KTSM 9 News.
Look at that fly on it. So how do you keep track of these people that come here and they do this stuff and you're saying that they can't get asylum if they push their way through? What if they come back and they change their hairstyle or something? Or you have a fake ID? I mean, how do you keep track of these people? Are you putting them in a database at least? I mean, I don't know, under Biden's law, I don't know. I mean, he's basically saying, hey, everyone come over here. We need more voters. Here's New York Mayor Eric Adams says there's no more room in the city to house them. Guys, it's getting so bad that New York is even feeling it. And they're fighting back too, guys. These people do not like the influx of people in their neighborhoods. Let's watch this.
Will have to take drastic actions to ensure some of the youngest asylum seekers are kept out of harm's way.
We don't want to reach the point, and we won't reach the point, where families and children are living on our streets like you're seeing in other municipalities.
To keep the migrants.
Okay, the hypocrisy. They don't want to see people living on streets, but we got plenty of homeless people living on the streets, some of which are veterans living on the street. We're okay with that, but as soon as people from other countries come here to seek asylum, start living on the streets, it becomes a problem. Why is that? Is it because it makes you look bad? New York Mayor Eric Adams, you guys voted for these policies. You voted for Biden. This is what you're going to get. You're getting this right here. Greg Abbott's busing these people to y'all states to go and deal with them instead of causing a mass stress on our small cities on the border of Mexico, guys. It's not just him. It's other governors as well. I'm sure Texas isn't the only one busing people up there. Why would we want to leave them in our small towns to cause havoc and strain our resources? Send them to where the rich folks are in New York, California, anywhere but to a little small Texas town. Let's go back to the video.
Children safe, he says in a few days, the city will begin providing 60-day notices to adult asylum seekers who are already in shelters to find alternate housing. If they can't, they will be required to reapply for a new placement. Opponents say he is starting to play favoritism and the city should not be limiting shelter stays. In a joint statement, the Legal Aid Society, along with the Coalition for the Homeless, said in part, quote, both the state and the city have a legal obligation to ensure that people who lack shelter are safe and secure and protected from exposure to the elements.
Now, as we speak, there are nearly 55,000 asylum seekers being housed in New York City. For now, we are live this morning from Midtown Manhattan. John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
You notice how they use the term children? It's for the children. It's a tactic that these woke liberal Democrats love to use when they don't want to feel so hypocritical about things like this. They implement new laws and say things in their speeches, and when they add it's for the children, you know it's baloney. They're just trying not to say it in a way that offends people. They don't want to step on people's toes. Just be honest. You don't need to throw in it's for the children. Latest increase in illegal migrant crossings undercuts Biden administration claims of progress on the border. Republicans have hammered the administration on the migrant crisis. We say there's a problem. They say there's not a problem. How is there not a problem? Clearly, you can see videos, evidence, proof, data that these people are coming in droves. Hundreds of thousands of people monthly. Last month, almost 200,000 people were caught. That's a lot of people. Let's read this article. The Biden administration has repeatedly pointed to the decrease in crossings at the southern border in May and June as a key indicator that its latest post Title 42 border policies are working. But now the narrative is being undercut as the numbers are surging back up. The Washington Post reported this week that initial Customs and Border Patrol CBP data shows 177,000 arrests by the Border Patrol between ports of entry in August, up from 132,000 in July and 99,000 in June. Family units were the biggest single demographic group, obviously, because if you come with a child, your chances to get across to get asylum are very high, which is why they're reusing children. They're saying, hey, come back over here, Juanito. We need to use you for Pablo or whatever. Easy to get across. At the end of Title 42 public health order on May 11th, numbers started going down as the Biden administration implemented a slew of new policies, including parole policies, increased Title 8 enforcement, and a asylum rule to limit claims by some illegal immigrants. Biden officials have claimed that by expanding lawful pathways for migration, including parole, increased refugee resettlement, and even setting up processing centers in Central America, and by increasing the consequences for illegal entry, the administration could bring order to a crisis at the border that has dodged the White House for years. How does something dodge the White House? If it's a border, it's a crisis, you need to set up some sort of barrier. You need to have more men and women there to protect the border. It seems simple to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. While officials urged caution about drawing long-term conclusions about the numbers, the administration also tied the drop in encounters to its policies. As a result of comprehensive planning preparation efforts, there has been a significant reduction in encounters along the southwest border since the return of full Title VIII immigration enforcement on May 12. Acting CBP Commissioner Troy Miller said in a statement in June. Since the CDC's Title 42 public health order lifted and the Biden administration's comprehensive plan to manage the border went full in effect on May 12, DHS has continued to experience a significant reduction in encounters at the southwest border. DHS said in June, before later saying the plan is working as intended. Our approach to managing the border securely and humanely, even within our fundamentally broken immigration system, is working, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said at the House Judiciary Committee hearing in July. Unlawful entries between ports of entry along the southwest border has consistently decreased by more than half compared to its peak at the end of Title 42. Even this week, the White House was trying success to decrease the border crossings. And look at those people crossing right now. The president has done more to secure the border and deal with the issue of immigration than anybody else, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said at the White House press briefing on Friday. He really has. June saw the single largest month-to-month drop in unlawful border crossing because of the policies this president put in place. Jean-Pierre was also asked on Thursday why the administration has been unable to stop the flow of migration. We're stopping the flow at the border, she said, before blaming Republicans for not fixing the broken immigration system. Okay, last I remember, Trump was doing something about it. Guys, what is she talking? Nonsense. What they chose to do is play politics, but the president has put a plan that is indeed slowing down the flow of unlawful migration. And that is because of the work that the president continues to do without the help of Republicans, she said. Load of bologna sandwiches, Jean-Pierre. In a statement to Fox, a DHA spokesperson said that since May, the agency has removed or returned over 200,000 individuals, including over 17,000 individual family members, and has also conducted a significant increase in the removal of flights in August. This administration continues to lead the largest expansion of lawful pathways in decades, which has reduced irregular migration while facilitating safe, orderly, and humane management of our borders, the spokesperson said. But as with every year, the U.S. is seeing ebbs and flows of migrants arriving fueled by seasonal trends and the efforts of smugglers to use disinformation to prey on vulnerable migrants to encourage migration. Okay, they're encouraging migration because they put some money in their pockets. Give me a couple $1,000s. I know the right way to get through the border over there at this spot, not over here. That's what these coyote cartel members are doing to make money. And they're also raping, which is very, very bad. We remain vigilant and continue to adjust our operational plans to maximize enforcement efforts against those non-citizens who do not use lawful pathways migrants could have otherwise used, the spokesperson said, noting also that the Family Expedited Removal Management firing process is one element of its efforts to return family units. Increased numbers will only serve to fuel Republican criticism of the administration, who has blamed the surge, which is now into its third year, on the administration's increased release of migrants into the interior and rolling back of Trump-era policies. Republicans have passed legislation in the House that would limit asylum claims, continue border wall construction at the end of controversial parole programs, but Democrats and the administration have shown no interest in the legislation. They show no interest in continuing the border wall. Actually, Joe Biden has been selling off the border wall for pennies to the dollar. Yes, he's been getting rid of that border wall Trump was trying to put up. He had it stockpiled somewhere. Biden said, oh, well, let's get rid of it for pennies to a dollar. Forget the wall. Let everyone come in. Come on, I need voters. Come on, come on. The Biden administration, meanwhile, still touting the supposed success of his policies, has also said there is only so much we can do within a broken system, and it has consistently called for an immigration reform bill to be passed and funding from Congress. It is abundantly clear that the executive action cannot be solved the entrenched challenge of migration in our region, and that neither party can address its impact on our border by itself, DHS said in June. Until and unless Congress comes together in a bipartisan way to address our broken immigration and asylum system, we will continue to see surges in migration at our border. The White House has recently called for an additional $4 billion in funding as a part of its budget supplemental request to Congress. It has also proposed legislation on its first day of office, but that has been rejected by Republicans for inclusion of pathways to citizens for millions of illegal immigrants already in the country. On Friday, Jean-Pierre again blamed Republican lawmakers for a lack of cooperation. Look, the president has done what he can from here, from the federal government, from the White House, to put forth and manage our border in a safe and humane way to respect the dignity of every human, as he says all the time, and making sure that our communities are safe, and you have seen him do it, she told reporters. But the system is broken. We want to do this in a bipartisan way. Republicans refuse to do that. I don't believe that one bit. Why? Because Trump proved that statement wrong. He did stuff. He actually did stuff. The border wall, the policies he put in place, the more funding to the Border Patrol agents. He did plenty of stuff. But when Biden came in, what did he do? He repealed lots of that. It's not right. It's not cool. What the heck? Anyway, guys, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. See you on the next one.